Hello friends, I welcome you all to this online session of a compulsory English. In the last session we have started or in the last two sessions we were discussing about a unit or the module on a media writing, and we were in the last session we have already started discussing about editorial writing. We discuss about the definition what is editorial. We also discuss about importance of editorial. So let us continue with the same and discuss about the purpose of editorials. So the purpose of editorials is generally to build a public opinion in constructive way towards a common but important issues. You should understand all these things because this is the important thing to note. So the purpose of editorial is generally to build public opinion in a constructive way. This adjective is very important here because you can see this editorial is always a constructive. It is not a destructive. It is not making a harsher criticism on certain things, but he is pointing out, he is in fact a written in a form of an introspection, and as a result of that you can see it create a very good public opinion. So this editorial generally build a public opinion in a constructive way towards common but important issues. Were addressed in this editorial. For example, editorial on a global warming, or editorial on a democracy in today's world, or there are several other, even the contemporary issues. You can see the child death ratio in Maharashtra today, or the coronavirus cases in Maharashtra. You can see these are things, or the new rules or regulations uh, uh, passed by the government. So they uh, throw light on such issues which are important for the public, for the benefit of public, and they create or they build a public opinion in a constructive way. So they are not only a food for thought to the readers, but also appeal to their emotions. But both these things were combined, the combination of thoughts, which is in fact a, uh, produced through the intelligence. However, the emotions were produced by the heart. So both these brain and heart combination you can see in the editorial. So editorials may aim to seek attention of the readers to the evils, wrongdoings in the society. So this is what you can say, wrongdoings in the society. They were focusing on seeking the attention of the readers in such a things, and they want to build a public opinion against it. So this is, or they want to enlighten them with certain things. So an editorial may also be written in a humorous or sarcastic way. The purpose of an argumentative editorial may not only be to inform readers but also to persuade or convince them. It can be satirical according to an event. So this is not always a serious tone should be maintained there, but you can use a comic tone, or you can use a sarcastic or satirical tone in your editorial. But we should be very cautious that it should not appear as a comic abstract from the newspaper. It should provide a food for the brain to thought. So this is what we should be cautious about these things. So an editorial may also deal with praise of a persons, or it may also be a light comment on the news. For example, 115th the birth anniversary of a Mahatma Gandhi. You can see the editorial, the praise of a Mahatma Gandhi will be published by the editor. So this is what is the purpose of an editorial. This is also very important thing. So the first sentence of this paragraph is important, that the purpose of editorial is generally to build a public opinion in a constructive way towards common but important issues. So this is what the important thing that we should know. They are not only food for thought to the readers, but also appeal to their emotions. So this is a combination of a heart and brain. Then the structure of editorials. This is the important point. As we are supposed to write editorials, we should understand this very clearly. So what is it? See, an editorial is a kind of a journalistic essay. So you should. This is the nature of a editorial, journalistic essay. An editorial is a kind of a journalistic essay. It is mainly divided into three parts: introduction, main body, and conclusion. Similar to the research projects or similar to the research papers. Research paper also contain the same structure: introduction, main body, and conclusion. So similarly to journalistic essay or this editorial also contains three parts. One is introduction, in which we have to introduce the topic to the readers. Main body, what we are supposed to write in that, what we are supposed to give examples there, we are supposed to convince the public for the certain point or certain position, and the last, conclusion. So these are the three parts of an editorial. So the first part, introduction, readers to the topic related to the prevalent situation on at the national or international level and arouses curiosity among them. So this is what introduction is: not just introducing the topic or not just introducing the subject that is explored in the editorial, but it is in fact a short paragraph, or it is in fact a short introduction that also create curiosity, interest among the readers. And when they read the first two, three lines, they go on reading the entire editorial. So this is what the purpose of the introduction. It also makes a statement reflecting the opinion of the editor. So it is again, it the introduction also gives a clear-cut statement or clear-cut opinion of the editor. The statement made in the introductory part is logically developed with the supports of examples in the main body of the editor. Similarly, as I told you, the similar kind of a structure we came across in a research paper. Similar thing is happening here. You can see, one, we make a statement, we give the, or we illustrate it with certain examples, and we conclude. Similarly, in editorial, you can see in introduction, editor make a statement, especially his own opinion. In main body, he go on adding examples, illustrating his opinion, and in the end he concludes the editorial. So the readers are acquainted with the editor's point of view. In the last part, main points are summarized or concluding remarks are made. So this is what the structure of a editorial. This is the important part in this module, because we are supposed to write an editorial. And editorial, when writing, you can see, the first thing is that we should think about it. Then we should prepare ourselves with the data, facts we should collect. Then we should start writing, or we should introduce the things. So when we start writing, the first hurdle we face is that how to start. So we must understand that we should start with an introduction, that is in fact your clear cut opinion or the statement that you are supposed to illustrate in the main body of the editorial. So this is the important thing that we should note here, that editorial contains three parts. First is introduction, second is a main body, and third is a conclusion. In introduction, the opinion of the editor or the statement of editor is clearly asserted. In main body, it is illustrated with the examples, and in conclusion, concluding remarks are made, or many times it is summarized, the points that were written in the main body of the introductions. So this is what you can see, the structure of editorials. Then types of editorials. See, based on purpose, for content and level, editorials may be of a different types. So we will see what are they. So purpose, with the on purpose, you can see it may be informative, argumentative, or entertaining. So this is what is the editorial of editorial, divided or categorized with the help of a purpose. Informative, the editorial that gives the information. If you see a editorial on a artificial sun created by China, it is an informative, argumentative. If it is about the new agricultural policy of a government, argumentative, and entertaining. If it is written on a Bollywood movies, contemporary Bollywood movies, you can see it is an entertaining. So as per the purpose, the editorials were divided or categorized. It may be informative, it may be argumentative, or it may be entertaining. Then after purpose, we categorize editorials with forms. It can be narrative, descriptive, or expository. So you can see all of these are very well known words: narrative, descriptive, and expository. Then content. It may be a social, political, historical, and scientific. As I give you the example of artificial sun produced by China, it may be in it may came under the category of a scientific. If it is written about the agricultural policy of India, it came under the political editorial. So this is what the editorial categorized with the content. What kind of subject is explored, and then the level. It may be regional, it may be national, or it may be international. So level, according to level, editorials are categorized. If editorial speaking about the global problem of an environment, it is an international. If he is speaking about agriculture today or agricultural problems of the nation, it is a national one. If he is speaking about the Panchganga river and its pollution, it is a regional one. So as per the levels, you can see the editorials were categorized. So these are the types of editorials which were categorized on with the help of a purpose, with the help of a form, with the help of a content, or with the help of a label. Then prerequisite of a editorial writing. So this is the most important part that we should discuss in detail. So good command over English language. Of course, yes. If we want to write a good editorial essay, we require a command over English language, because we have to write. I am not saying that editorial writing is always difficult and complex. It is a very simple language, but writing in a simple English is very difficult. Many times we may use a difficult language that is in fact a simple one, but writing in simple language is difficult. So we require a very good command over English language, because we are supposed to explore, or we are supposed to use, or we are supposed to uh, use a minimal language and maximum message we are supposed to give. So this is what a good command over English language is. First prerequisite quality for an editor. So he should have a good command over language. So he should he should write English very well. Then second prerequisite quality is well developed vocabulary. This is a very important thing. Well developed vocabulary. We should able to write in an appropriate with an appropriate vocabulary, appropriate word in an appropriate place. So that is very important. And for that purpose, we require well developed vocabulary. This is also one of the most important prerequisite quality of an editor, that he should have equipped with a well developed vocabulary. Without that, he cannot write significantly or influentially, because editorials were meant to influence the people. Editorials were meant to gain effect, or uh, insert effects on the people, and for that purpose this editorials were written, and for that we require that kind of language. So editorial editor should have a good command over English language, and he should have a very well developed vocabulary. Then craftsmanship. So you should be your thought should be a logical one. You should write in a logical manner. That is important thing. The craftsmanship, you should develop your subject very craftedly. So, and when you develop your subject craftedly and well organize the thing, you can see it becomes influential for the people. Then constant practice and judicious use of language. So this is also very important thing, judicious use of language. So your language should be judicious. It should not be a vulgar one. It should be, you are writing in an editorial, and that sense of writing for an editorial should be there. You should keep in your mind that you are reading or you are writing for millions of people. So therefore we should be very cautious while using a language. Then planning outline of the draft. This is also very important. So instead of starting writing as if we were writing essays in a 12th or we were writing essays in a schooling, this kind of essay is totally different. And for that purpose, we require a planning. We should think about the topic. We should collect the data. We should outline the draft, and then we should start writing the final draft. So these are the prerequisites of editorial writing. So structure of editorial, we see the purpose of editorial, which is a generally built for a public opinion in a constructive way towards a common but important issues. It is and in the structure of editorials we learn that this editorial is divided into three parts. One is introduction, second is the main body, and third is the conclusion. Then we discuss about the types of editorials. Types of editorials or categorizations of editorials were done on the 4 points. One is the purpose, form, content, and label. Then we discuss about the prerequisite editorial writing. So this point, prerequisite editorial writing and the structure of editorial, both these points are very important to understand editorial writing. Then task. See, uh, given below are two editorials on the same topic from two different newspapers. Read them carefully and write a note on the purpose, type, structure, and features of these editorial writing. In tomorrow's lecture, what we will do, we will read these editorials because we will understand all these things, that appropriate vocabulary, command over English, judicious use of language, and the planning outline draft. We will understand all these things. So and we are also as these two editorials were given here, we will also compare these two editorials. So we will stop here and continue the same in the next session we will read this essay, these editorials, and try to compare them. And then we will think about editing for print and online media. So before ending this session, I would like to suggest you that media writing requires command over English language. You require to understand certain grammar chunks. You require certain vocabulary items. And then only it is possible for you to write influentially. So if you want or if you are serious about media writing, you should start reading newspapers. You should think about it. And reading about newspaper, you will understand, you will get a command over language. You will came across different new words. So all these things we will gain through by reading the newspapers. So most of us today were not reading newspapers, but what we were doing, we were relying on the WhatsApp and Facebook chats. So don't do that. Read the newspapers, especially the editorial parts of the newspaper. And there are several newspapers available online today. The Hindu is online today. Even the New York Times, London Times, Times of India, every leading newspaper, even the Global Times of China, every newspaper is available in e-form, and it is a free of cost. Only thing is that you have a internet connection, a smartphone, and you should start reading it. So I will suggest you that if you are serious in career of a media writing, because there is ample scope here, you should start reading a newspaper, especially the Hindu and Times of India, because the Hindu is also a very reputed English newspaper which is available at our local stores also. So this is my appeal to you, that you should start reading newspapers. And not only reading, you should cut the newspapers, news items that are important, or you feel that it is very important. You should paste it in your notebook and try to analyze it from all these things that we have learning in this module. So you should think in terms of language, vocabulary, structure, uh, thematic concern, and try to learn how to write an editorial. So only reading this module, it is not possible for you to read, write the editorial. So you should you should read the original editorial published on day to day, uh, in day to day life. So every day you will have one more editorial. So purchase a paper, or even in a library you can get a newspaper. So read the tutorial part. So we will stop here and continue the same in the next session. Thank you for listening.